Okay, the question I was given is why are some lesbians so manly looking and butch? I asked a few people what they thought, and I asked them a few different questions along with it. The first person I asked was a female who was a lesbian, and I said, why do you think some people stereotype lesbians as butch or feminine? Her answer was because how they dress, how they see them in a relationship by the way they look. Like, oh, that's the girl and that's the boy. Then I said, do you think that people are right to stereotype like this? Is that always right? She said, no, it's not always right because some girls could just be tomboys and like boys, so their stereotypes are not always correct. They shouldn't stereotype so much because they're not always right. And then I asked her the final answer question. Why do you think some lesbians are so manly looking and butch? She said, it's how they feel comfortable being that way. The second interview was also a lesbian female, obviously. And I asked her the same questions. Why do you think people stereotype lesbians as butch or feminine? Her answers were because they want to, because in society it's what people do. And then I asked her, do you think people are right to stereotype like this? And she said, it's not always right, but it makes us who we are. And then I asked her the final question, why do you think some lesbians are so manly looking and butch? And she said, because it's just what they want to do, it's their personality. This third interview that I did was a male, and I asked him, how do you react when seeing a female that looks manly looking? His reaction, he said, I react badly. In shock because I love females. I'm used to seeing that though because I hang out with a lot of basketball players that wear baggy shorts and sweats. And then I said, why do you think people stereotype lesbians as butch or feminine? He said, because of what they see, they're not used to it. I also asked him, do you think people are right to stereotype? He said, no, I don't like stereotyping. And I said, why do you think some lesbians are so manly looking and butch? He said, because it's what they're trying to be. It's their role. It's who they have to be. Someone has to be the female and the male. It's their role in the relationship. It's the part they want to be. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. We'll go into detail about that a little bit. My last interview was by a female, random. I asked her the same questions, and she said, I don't think I react very differently. I have a very open mind with people. I don't have any prejudice against people. People should be free, I think. I know I don't think I react consciously. I know I don't react. And I asked her if why people stereotype. She said because they're uneducated, and I think a lot of people are confused, so they just put people in categories. I asked her if she thought people were right to stereotype, and she said no. I don't think it's right to stereotype people. Leads to bad things. And I asked her, why do you think some lesbians are so manly looking and butch? She said, to fit in with culture that has been created as a process to finding their identity. Coming out of the closet can be a confusing thing, and they're just conforming to what's already there. After going over some of these interviews, I don't really agree, but I don't really disagree with some of them. And with a male, I don't think he really meant in a bad way. Is what he was just saying. He said he didn't appreciate it because he is really attracted by women, and he's like, oh, it's in detail. But I also went and found a couple of facts and myths, and so it pretty much debunks each other. The two myth is lesbians, especially butch lesbians, want to be men. Fact, lesbians' appearances are more androgynous or masculine do so because that is how they feel comfortable. The fact is there is diversity of gender expression among all women and men, no matter what their sexual orientation. People who want to change their sex are called transsexual. I think people really need to understand that. Also, it says you could tell a lesbian by how she looks. Fact, lesbians and gay men claim to have something called gaydar, which is really just an intuition about whether or not someone is gay. Gaydar isn't right all the time, and since many people still live in the closet, there's no way to tell sure if someone is a lesbian, unless she tells you, of course. And this last myth is one lesbian in a relationship has to be the man. The fact is, although some lesbian couples are butch femi, both are clearly women. Neither wants to be a man nor act like a man. And butch femi is not the only type of lesbian relationship. Femis and butch can be paired together, or more likely both women don't claim any butch or femi label. So I hope that kind of answers your question that it's not really a thing. They don't really do it to conform with what society says. It's just because it's how they feel comfortable. It's what they really want to do. And getting that from other perspective and facts, I kind of would agree with it. And I think this should help people like open up their minds and really understand about all that stuff. So I hope you got your answer and it got figured out. Thanks.